Hi boys and girls. So for our Worldly Wise lesson, we're going to learn the next 5 vocabulary words and review the 5 from last week. So let's go over the new words. Brave. So the firefighter was being brave when he went to rescue the cat. Protect. The girl is wearing a helmet on her head to protect herself from getting hurt. Store. So there's 2 meanings for this word. Store, like the store you go to go buy groceries or clothes, and then store, like to keep or put away, like the squirrel is storing nuts for the winter. Miserable. Miserable. The girl felt miserable being sick at home. So she felt miserable. She felt bad. She felt just really bad because she felt sick. And she kind of looks miserable, right? Unhappy. And wing. So this picture, you see the arrows pointing to the bird's wing. And then let's review the ones from last week. Sting. The bee is stinging the boy. Beak. We see the arrow pointing to the bird's beak. Blossoms, which are the flowers in this picture. Pair, which means a group of 2. We see a pair of mittens, just like a pair of shoes or a pair of socks. Fear. The boy felt fear when he saw the spider. So fear. He felt afraid, scared. All right, so remember when you hear those words in the story, give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to read the story to you and give me a thumbs up when you hear the words. All right, so let's look at picture number 1, where we see Caroline and her dad. So again, the story is called How the Bee Got Its Stinger. Caroline and her dad sat looking out the window, watching the last few leaves fall off the trees. Inside, it felt snug and warm. "I'm glad it's getting colder," Caroline said. She pointed to the little red bump on her hand. "Now I can play outside without getting stung by a bee." Yesterday, Caroline was playing hopscotch at school, and a bee flew out of the milkweed patch and stung her on her hand. It hurt a lot, and Caroline tried to be brave and not cry. She couldn't understand why a bee would sting her. After all, she wasn't bothering the bee. Now Caroline was a little afraid of bees. "Dad, why do bees have stingers?" Caroline wanted to know. "Bees need stingers to protect themselves," said Caroline's dad. "Would you like to hear a story about how the bee got its stinger?" All right, let's look at picture number 2 now. Picture number 2 right here. All right. A long time ago, bees didn't have stingers at all. Since bees are really tiny, it was hard for them to protect themselves from bigger animals. The other animals loved the taste of the sweet honey the bees made, so they were always stealing it. "I'll bet you can guess which animal especially liked the honey," said Caroline's dad. "The bears, of course," answered Caroline. "You're right," said Caroline's dad. "The bees tried hanging their hives in the tops of the trees, but the bears were able to climb up and find them." The hummingbirds drank up the golden honey and their long pointed beaks with their long pointed beaks. The squirrels and chipmunks always seemed to find the hives too. The poor bees had to keep making more and more honey. Since they needed the nectar from flowers to make honey, they had to keep looking for more and more blossoms. Their life was hard. Finally, winter came and the flowers withered and died. The bees couldn't make more honey. Since they hadn't been able to store any honey for the winter, they had nothing to eat. So the hungry, miserable bees decided to go see the wise man, Nanabush. "What can I do for you?" he asked. The little bees told Nanabush their story. "Look at our little bodies and tiny wings," they said. One pair of bees flew around Nanabush. "We can't protect ourselves against strong animals like the bears." Nanabush listened and thought carefully. He thought about the bees' problem. Finally, he said, "You bees are a fine community, all working hard together. So I will give you something to help protect you from the other animals." "Can you guess what Nanabush gave them, Caroline?" Dad asked. "A stinger," she guessed. Exactly. He gave each of them a sharp-pointed stinger at the end of their tail. Now they could sting anyone who tried to take their honey. All right, last picture, picture 3. The squirrels, chipmunks, and birds learned their lesson quickly. After they got stung a few times, they stopped stealing the bees' honey. But the bears still wouldn't give up. So the bees made a plan. When a bear got near their hive, all the bees got together and stung him at the same time. The bear went yelping and stumbling into the forest. So finally, the bears learned to think twice before stealing honey from the bees. And the bees were able to store enough honey for the winter. They didn't have to fear any of the animals anymore. "I get it," said Caroline. "I must have been near a beehive, and that's why they stung me." "That makes sense," agreed Dad. As Caroline and her dad watched the first snowflakes gently falling from the sky, Caroline was relieved. She was glad the bees were able to protect themselves and store enough food for winter. And now that she knew to stay away from beehives, she didn't feel afraid of them anymore. All right, so now we're going to look at page 75. And you're going to need some crayons or colors for this page. And I'll tell you which ones. And then we're going to work on this page so that we can we can remember what the words mean. Okay, so turn to page 75, which is this page right here. Okay. All right. You're going to need blue, yellow, red, green, and brown. 5 different colors. Red, green, yellow, blue, and brown. Remember, you can pause this at any time so that you can go find your crayons and then come back. All right? Okay, so when you're ready, I want you to look at this picture. Now, where do you think this picture is at? What does this picture remind you of? Well, it shows a pet store, right? So, I'm going to ask you to look for some things in this picture and color them. Okay? So first, I want you to get your blue crayon or color, and I want you to look at the people in the pet store. Can you find someone who is being brave? Can you find someone who's being brave? So look carefully and find the one who's being brave and color his shirt blue. So color his shirt blue. And then I want you to get your yellow ready. Okay? Look at the man who's holding the snake. What is he using to protect his hands? Color them yellow. So he's using gloves. Color them yellow. All right, I want you to get your red color ready now. Uh-oh, someone looks miserable. Did you guys see the person that looks miserable? Color her jacket red. Color her jacket red. Okay, now get your green ready. Look for a bird that is lifting its wings. Color the wings green. So color the wings green. All right, and last one on this page. Can you see where plenty of bags of pet food are stored? Can you see that? Okay, color the bags brown. Color the bags brown. Remember, when you're done, take a picture of this page and send it to me. We're going to go to the next page now. So turn now to page 76. Turn to 76. Okay? So on this page, we're going to look at the words. Okay? 1, 2, 4. And I'm going to say a word. And you're going to look at the picture. And you're going to circle the picture that matches the word I say. So number 1 is beak. Circle the picture that shows beak. Number 2, blossom. Circle the picture that shows blossom. Number 3, pear. Pear. Circle the picture that shows pear. And number 4, miserable. Circle the picture that shows miserable. All right, and when you're done, remember to take a picture of this page and send it to me. All right, good job, boys and girls.